Hi guys, today I'm going to show you the issue with my fuel pressure regulator. This is of a 2-liter Golf ADY engine. So according to the forums, these regulators are pretty fragile and tend to get hairline cracks in them. So normally your fuel pressure regulator is at the end here, and it goes in all the way in here, and it's held in place with a circlip. So to remove it, you pop out the circlip and you wiggle out your fuel pressure regulator. So the basic workings of the fuel pressure regulator: fuel gets in here and travels around the outer chamber of this pipe. As you can see, the pipe has two chambers, inner and outer. So fuel goes around the outer chamber, and that is this portion here. Fuel goes in here, and on the inside of this pressure regulator there is a spring and a diaphragm. So you've got a vacuum line attached here to your intake, and that vacuum line, the suction, then pulls or releases the diaphragm, and the fuel comes in here, and that goes via the spring and then exits via this inner pipe here. So the movement of the diaphragm will actually affect the pressure that comes out. That's why it's actually adjustable, and it works according to the engine revs and the suction on the intake. So fuel comes out through the inner pipe here, and that goes on this inner line here. It travels all the way out and then exits via this line here and back to your fuel tank. So that's basically how the fuel rail works. And when the fuel comes out here and is pressurized by a fuel pressure regulator, that then enables the injector to squirt out fuel. If the fuel pressure is low, your injectors are not going to squirt out enough fuel, and your spray pattern is actually going to be bad. So the issue with my pressure regulators, when I pulled out, fuel rail, when I pulled out my fuel pressure regulator, I actually found that the inner pipe came out as well. And as you can see, this focuses, it actually broke off at the end. So my assumption is that this had a hairline crack at the end here, and hence I had issues with my fueling in my car. And this broke off when I tried to take off the pressure regulator, because the O-ring was holding it a bit tight there. When I pried it off, it actually broke off what was already cracked. So my options were to actually replace the fuel rail, which is not the cheap way to go, and I would have most probably have to get a second-hand one, and knowing these fuel rails, there's a possibility that I would end up with a damaged one as well. So I thought of actually putting back the fuel pressure regulator without the inner pipe. So I'll put this back in here, sealing this off. I'll basically have this one tube. This is fine. And then what I would do is actually put an external fuel pressure regulator on the reverse line, so that would actually pressurize this line and allow this fuel rail to work. So in theory it should work. I've got myself a fuel pressure regulator, aftermarket fuel pressure regulator. Where is it now? Here. This one has been purchased from AutoStar, and is similar to the eBay models which sell for $20 onwards. This is this make of the adjustable regulator. It comes with a fuel line hose, blank off plate for where your fuel pressure regulator normally goes, hoses, clamps, and Allen key. Well, normally you would have to put a blanking plate here and remove your pressure regulator, but seeing as my pressure regulator is not going to do much because the inner pipe is actually missing, I don't really need to put a blanking plate. I'm just going to put the pressure regulator back and leave the vacuum disconnected, and connect my pressure regulator on the return line, and that should pressurize this entire thing and allow it to work. So that's going to be the next video I make. Alright, thanks guys.